Hi, today we're going to be looking at the Onikiri samurai sword. We'll start from the handle here. It's solid wood on the handle with the full tang on the inside. Then right here's where it cuts off for the blade. And then it's got a 30-inch long blade, and the sheath is 30-inch long. The handle is 11 inches long, so roughly 41 inches long. So, what would be my review on it? Well, it is handcrafted, but I don't know how handcrafted it is. I doubt there was a Japanese man in the mountains who's never heard of a firearm in 1,000 years, and I guess they are not the ones making this. They make samurai swords for $1,000 to $5,000, and this is not it. However, I have had other cheap $50 swords. This was $37 on Amazon, and it comes with a black cloth. Let me see if I got it here. Yeah. Now, samurai swords will either come with a black cloth or a stand. So that's the black cloth that comes in. One of the downsides is, and they do have to oil this, you realize, to make this blade not rust and last. But the inside of the sheath, they did not sand down the finish. So what you're going to get out of that is a whole lot of, let's see if I can get a good angle on this for you. A whole lot of wood, not chippings, but particles from the inside of the sheath. But the oil, or somewhat waxy oil, is definitely not wax they put on it, but a waxy oil, but it's close. A lot of people clean their blades with gun oil. It is, it's actually very sturdy, pretty heavy. That's how thick the blade is, and comes sharpened, so that's a plus for all of us who do this. Oh, by the way, this is not a Kimura, this is a bathrobe, okay? I'm not that obsessed. The sheath is really, really light. I feel like if I squeezed this part too hard, it would break. But when the sword is in it, it kind of reinforces that. And this is the sword itself. So, yeah, it comes out of the box looking like a block of wood and all that. But I've heard some people complaining about this model. First, the plus sides are you can chop stuff around with it. I haven't done it because I get it for collector's pieces and purposes. That's why I saved the box here. But you can cut water bottles and milk jugs and fruit, but I mean, the harder it is, you run into the risk of bending the blade. But they say this has less of a chance of the blade being bent than on other swords. So on other swords, you're good to go. On this sword, you're good to go. You can play around with it. It's only $37. And if it breaks, you get another one for $37 instead of a $57 one that's will break if you hit a hard target, or not break, but bend. They don't shatter. What they do is they bend and they don't go back in the sheath, and you bend it back. And you can never get metal bended back completely straight unless you take a blowtorch to it. Not now. Yeah. And what you do there is you like if you ever bend a piece of wire or one of those clips, metal clips, and you try to bend it back straight and you just get zigzags the more you do it. That's basically what's going on with the swords that bend, and then it makes it so that they can't go back in the sheath. They don't really zigzag, but they bend and you bend it back and they have trouble. Now let me show you another sword that is $57, mostly for show. Well, actually really all samurai's swords are for show because nobody uses them anymore. But this piece also comes in a cloth. Let me just unravel it here. Now this is actually a beautiful sword. The problem is, just like the sheath is poorly made on this one, sheath is crap on this one. When it arrived, I found these cracks in the sheath when it arrived. I didn't even do anything with it. This has one of the woven handles, which makes for a better grip, but some people actually prefer these wood handles because unless your hands are wet with water or oil or whatever, the oil on your hands is a different type of oil, and they actually give you a better grip than if your hands were completely dry, and some people prefer these. But the oil on your hands gives you a good grip of it, so they don't slide off. This here is another sharpening die. Basically the same thing. A katana, just like the other one. I'm not sure. I don't do my homework a lot. I just decided to buy some samurai swords. And the samurai swords are, they're, what is it? The quality of them is completely different. You have to read the reviews on Amazon constantly. But what I like about this is, you see this little guy here? This slips out, and it's a knife. This you get on Amazon. And so what that means is, if somebody's like, hand over your samurai sword, you're like, okay, flip this up with your tongue. Not your tongue, your thumb, and spring it out, and boom, hand them the samurai sword. But the one thing I didn't like about this is the finish. As pretty as it is, it looks plastic, but it's definitely not plastic, judging by the chips. That's definitely wood. The other problem is the locking mechanism, or tension lock, is completely not there. If it goes upside down, it's not there. And this sword is just for comparison on the one I'm reviewing, but I might add in on it that one I did a quick review on. But this is excellent for horsing around with, you know. And I mean, kids love to horse around with blades, and you know what? They know they're sharp, so most of them are careful, but the ones who go too far learn the hard way. But this is what I got here, and I would highly recommend this one for horsing around with. It is heavy though. It is. The blade is really thick, and when you take the sheath off, it is thick enough that you don't have to be you don't have to be overly cautious of breaking these thin wood layers, as the other one you have to be. And you can swing it around, slice it stuff, and get your grip going, and all that good stuff. So that's my review of the Onikiri, Onikiri handcrafted sword. Now this says it's handcrafted too, but whoever handcrafted this was a drunken hillbilly. So that's the end of the review, and I hope it's helpful. And on Amazon you can't miss it. It's a sword that looks like a block of wood, and it's red. And great for horsing around with. Any other sword for $50 is really just for show and decorative purposes. The other, and not for horsing around with. I wouldn't recommend any of them for combat or whatever. I mean, Japan really didn't conquer anybody using a samurai sword, but I would actually say the sword on this one is actually very, very sturdy and actually pretty well made. It's the sheath I have a problem with on this one. But, let's see. Yeah, as you can see, there's that little crack in the sheath. I'm sending this back for a new one. And they will bend if you hit a hard target. Remember that. So try to keep it. If it is like, let's see, if it is a type of fruit that you're hitting, make sure it doesn't have a core. If it is something soft that you're hitting, make sure it's not like a pumpkin that's overly soft, because if the sword stops while it's hitting into that, that's where it bends. Also, the further up you hit the target with the sword, the more likely it is to bend. If you hit it in the middle, the sweet spot, that's where you want to hit it. Also, hitting 12 packs of bottled water, no. The water isn't what you have to worry about. It's that plastic on it, and that plastic goes from bottle to bottle to bottle, and if it gets stuck in the target, you immediately inspect it for bending. If it goes straight through the target, I would still inspect it anyway, just to make sure before you go on to the next. And how you inspect it is, well, if it's crooked, that's definitely a big problem, but just make sure it fits in the sheath. And if it fits in there and you have to kind of shove it in, bend it. And that's my review, so see ya.